academic credentials that included a degree in history and master's in strategic management. His service on the National Council of Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, as a board member further reflected his resolve to confront social challenges, particularly those affecting young people of this country. The passing of Elijah Lagat, Mheshimiwa, on 29 September 2025 at Eldoret Hospital is a profound loss to this nation, to his family and friends. He leaves behind a legacy of resilience, patriotism, and selfless service that will continue to inspire generations of Kenya, both in athletics and leadership. His life story is rising from a determined athlete who conquered the global stage to a committed legislator who served his people with humility, stands as a statement to perseverance, leadership, and love for this country. As we honor his memory today, Mr. Speaker, where he will be rested to rest on 17 October 2025, let us celebrate Elijah Kiptarbel Lagat not only for his remarkable achievements, but also for the values he exemplified. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Senator Fonandi. You have two statements under that particular standing order, so you may read them at once.
Mr. Speaker, I'm earning my salary rightfully. Mr. Speaker, the request for statement on unfair labor practices and systemic discrimination within I&M Bank, Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare on a matter of national concern regarding reports of systemic discrimination and unfair labor practices at I&M Bank, Kenya, including discriminatory promotions and bonus allocations and compensated promotions, retaliatory dismissals, and nationality-based disparities in retirement age extension that favors expatriates over Kenyan employees, contrary to Article 27 and Article 41 of the Constitution 2010 of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the statement, the committee should address the following. One, whether an inquiry has been initiated by the Kenya Bankers Association, KBA, into reports of systemic discrimination, including unfair promotions, unequal bonuses, retaliatory dismissals, and discriminatory practices, particularly those based on nationality and retirement age, and if not, recommend that such an inquiry be undertaken ASP. So, Speaker, number two, data on contract extensions or retentions beyond the mandatory retirement age, including justification for any differential treatment and measures being taken to ensure equal treatment, fairness in promotions and bonuses, and redress for the affected staff. So, Speaker, number three, the bank's response to employees' concerns, including actions taken to date and measures put in place to prevent victimization of employees who have raised such issues. Number four, Mr. Speaker, sir, the bank's human resource policy on recruitment, promotion, compensation, retirement, and discipline for compliance with the national labor laws and international best practices, and to highlight any identified gaps. So, Speaker, finally, on this statement, mechanisms in place for whistleblower protection and regulatory measures across the financial sector to safeguard workers' rights. Mr. Speaker, as per your direction and in your indulgence, on to my second statement. Request for statement on the findings of a special audit on the e-Citizen platform. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on a matter of national concern regarding the findings of a special audit by the Office of the Auditor General of Kenya's Central Digital Payments Gateway, the e-Citizen platform. So, Speaker, sir, the audit reveals governance failures, procurement irregularities, and revenue risks that threaten service delivery and undermine public confidence. Chief among those concerns is the absence of a legal framework poor interagency coordination, and the continued control of core operations by webmasters, Kenya, despite the platform handover to the government in 2017. Further, the audit flagged over Kenya shillings 7.0 billion in revenue held without service level agreements, unauthorized diversions amounting to Kenya shillings 127.85 million, and the regressive flat rate of 50 shillings convenience fee that burdens low-income Kenyans. The system also suffers from data integrity gaps, lacks standard operating procedures or SOPs, and remains exposed to security vulnerabilities given that a full information technology security audit has not been conducted up to date. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the statement, the committee should address the following. One, steps being taken to establish a comprehensive legal and institutional framework to define roles, responsibilities, and accountability for the e-citizen platform. Number two, Mr. Speaker, sir, measures to ensure effective coordination among the National Treasury, the Directorate of e-Citizen, and the ICT Authority in managing the platform, Mr. Speaker, sir. Number three, actions to end dependency on webmasters Kenya and guarantee that government has full control over operations and data. Number four, Mr. Speaker, sir, strategies to safeguard public funds, including Kenya shillings 7.05 billion in collection accounts, and to address procurement stroke accountability issues such as unauthorized payment and missing contracts. Number five, Mr. Speaker, sir, plans to review the Kenya shillings 50 shillings convenience fee and mitigate its impact on the low-income Kenyan citizen. Mr. Speaker, sir, steps to address data integrity, system limitations, and security concerns, including undertaking a comprehensive information technology security audit, public trust in the platform. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you for that intelligence.
Senator Mohamed Faki, Senator from Mombasa. That statement is dropped. The Senator from Makueni County, the Honorable Maanzo Daniel. That statement is dropped. Senator for Elgeyo Marakwet County, Senator William Kisang. That statement is dropped. Senator for Kwale County, Senator Issa Juma Boy. That statement is dropped. Senator for Marsabit County, the Honorable Mohammed Said Chute. You have two statements.
Yes.
Read both of them.
Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I am requesting for a statement on the non-payment of community health promoters in Marsabit County. So, Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the prolonged non-payment of community health promoters in Marsabit County. Mr. Speaker, sir, it has come to my attention that young people serving as community health promoters in Marsabit County have gone without pay from September 2024 to date, a period amounting to over 1 year. This situation has caused significant hardship to these workers who play a crucial role in strengthening community-level health system. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should, 1, reason for the delay in payment of stipends to community health promoters in Marsabit County for the period stated. 2, whether funds for this program were disbursed to the county by the National Treasury, and if so, explain the bottlenecks that led to non-payment. 3, measures being taken to ensure that all arrears owed to CHPs are paid without further delay. 4, framework and timeline to guarantee regular and timely payment for CHPs going forward, given their vital role in the healthcare system. This is my second statement, Honorable Speaker. This is a statement requesting for the Elgade, Kambinya, and Bagasi boreholes in Marsabit County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources regarding Elgade, Kambinya, Bagasi boreholes projects in Marsabit County. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, details on the scope, objectives, and intended beneficiaries.
Senators, may the senator from Marsabit be heard in silence, please.
Let me repeat.
Proceed, Senator.
1, details on the scope, objectives, and intended beneficiaries of the borehole project. 2, itemize the total funds allocated and expended between the financial years 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, including funding sources and expenditure breakdown. Number 3, the current status, quality, and sustainability of the boreholes, including yields test, chemical analysis, and long-term management plans. 4, certified project documents, including the hydrological survey report, contracts and bill of quantities, test pumping and yield reports, completion certificate, and payment vouchers. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator from Ranga County, Senator John Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a request for a statement on the delayed issuance and collection of national identity cards. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of national concern regarding the delay in the issuance and collection of national identity cards. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the reasons for the persistent delays in the processing and issuance of national identity cards, as well as the measures in place to expedite the process. 2, the number of uncollected national identity cards currently lying in Huduma centers and National Registration Bureau, NRB offices nationwide, and plans to clear this backlog. 3, whether the Ministry of Labor, of Interior and National Administration is considering introducing alternative and easier collection methods to bring services closer to the people and to ease the collection the collection process. Number 4, the impact of the delay on the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, and whether the ministry is coordinating with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to mitigate the risk of disenfranchisement. And number 5, Mr. Speaker, the timelines within which the ministry expects to fully resolve the challenges relating to ID issuance and collection. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Busia County, Senator Andrew Okeom Tata. When the 3 statements are dropped, I will now allow comments for not more than 15 minutes on the statements that have been sought. Seems no one is interested in. Senator Beatrice Akinyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement by Senator Cheregai to the Labor and Social Welfare on the systematic discrimination and unfair labor practices at the I&M Bank, Kenya. Honorable Speaker, we would like to tell this bank from the word go that we do not have Kenyans who are private and public, because this bank seems to operate in a way that it thinks it is a private entity, and so it can treat workers in a way that they like. Honorable Speaker, there are labor laws in this country that entities have to adhere to. Honorable Speaker, as this committee looks into the discriminations in promotions and the discriminations in bonus allocations, the promotions that are uncompensated, and the dismissals that seems to me to be illegal, the bank must also provide a list of their employees to this committee so that the committee is able to see where these employees come from. They must provide a list of employees, categorized in terms of even where they come from. And Honorable Speaker, that is not to discriminate, but just to ensure that there is equity in the treatment, in the employment, and in the treatment of these workers. And secondly, Honorable Speaker, I want to support the statement by the Senator of Muranga, Senator Nyutu, on the collection of national identity cards. Honorable Speaker, there have been discrepancies in the issuance of identity cards. Some of them especially have had a lot of outcry from young Kenyans who say there's a lot of mismatch even in their records as ID cards are issued. And so the department that is working on national identity cards must be more keen on the data of the applicants so that the applicants are not inconvenienced. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement sought by Senator Cherargei on the late Elijah Lagat, the former Member of Parliament for Jesume. Honorable Speaker, this is a distinguished Kenyan who contributed immensely in athletics and also later in leadership. Honorable Speaker, I remember Honorable Elijah Lagat for establishment of Namgoi Secondary School, a day school that rivals Kapsabet Boys. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, secondly, I want to support the statement by Senator Chute on the payment for CHPs. Honorable Speaker, it's unfortunate that quite a number of counties have not been paying the stipends that has been set aside for the community health promoters. Honorable Speaker, whereas the national government in some counties has made their disbursements to counties for onward payment of CHPs, county governments have continued to sit on that money instead of dispensing to CHPs. Honorable Speaker, counties must realize that CHPs are additional workforce in the health sector that can support and strengthen the systems, particularly now that we have the rollout of SHA, Honorable Speaker, in terms of sensitization in registration and utilization to make sure that Kenyans are able to access cheap, affordable, and accessible health care. Honorable Speaker, there is need for county governments to take community health promoters seriously as part of health workers who are there to strengthen the system and support the public health sector in this country. Honorable Speaker, as they say, prevention is better than curing. Community health promoters help us to prevent some of the diseases that would later cost taxpayers a lot of money in terms of treatment. Finally, Honorable Speaker, as you directed yesterday afternoon, the Senate Health Committee visited Busia County Referral Hospital. And Honorable Speaker, if you allow me 1 minute just to give feedback to the House, is that the condition of that Busia County Referral Hospital is in such a deplorable state, Honorable Speaker, very pathetic. Honorable Speaker, we have had the opportunity to visit the morgue that is meant to hold about 12 bodies. It already has over 42. The morgue itself doesn't have any refrigeration facilities, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the dialysis machines are not working. Honorable Speaker, it is sad that the whole county operates on only one ambulance that is seated in Alupe, not even at the Busia County Referral Hospital. There is a sorry state of affairs in the health sector in this county that needs an urgent attention. Honorable Speaker, my committee will be moving with speed to make a proper visit to this county to assess and make sure that that is rectified, working together with the members of County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I also wish to note that we have a very vibrant health committee at the County Assembly who assessed over a majority of the matters. And the County Executive should take the recommendations from County Assemblies very seriously as they work towards improving. Finally, there is mushrooming pharmacies outside the hospital. Honorable Speaker, surprisingly, in less than 100 meters, we have more than 20 pharmacies operating directly outside the Busia County Referral Hospital. Unfortunately, a majority of those facilities are being operated by the staff of the county government of Busia. We want to urge the governor to take stand action and ensure that the people of Busia receive quality health care. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Kajuan.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to make very brief comments on this request for statement by Senator Samson Cherargei on the findings of a special audit on the e-citizen platform. Mr. Speaker, a digital government is desirable, and a system and a government where payments can be done online is highly desirable. And Kenya has blazed the trail on that, even though we are still lagging behind some of our neighbors like Rwanda. Mr. Speaker, e-citizen and this online digital fee collection system that Kenya embraced is a good thing. But a good thing, if implemented badly, can cause serious problems. Mr. Speaker, the special audit report that the nation was served with by the Auditor General revealed serious vulnerabilities and flaws in the design of this system. It revealed serious issues around integrity, availability, confidentiality with regards to this system. It would be important that this matter be treated even as a national security matter, because if the entire payment infrastructure, digital payment infrastructure for government is being held by private players and the government does not seem to have clear oversight over it, what if one day some hackers decide to hack into it? Or what if one day the owners of these services become disgruntled and sabotage the entire machinery of government? Mr. Speaker, countries like India have devised a digital government platform that is controlled largely by government. If you go to Dubai, Mr. Speaker, nowadays you can walk into Dubai without talking to somebody, because you can check in online, you can check in your bags, you can do immigration, you can make all the payments that you want digitally. There is nothing wrong, Mr. Speaker, for a private player to provide this kind of services. If you go to the United States, has won big contracts to develop rockets and ships that go to space. There is nothing wrong for a... So when you are talking about scrutiny of this particular matter, it is not to begrudge the private investors their liberty and their right to be able to do second positional security out of sovereignty matters. So, Mr. Speaker, termination of their contract, but there needs to be a partnership, there needs to be a special purpose vehicle that brings in the government and on board also the private sector players as they make their money out of their innovation, but Kenyans counts. Mr. Speaker, if you would allow me just in less than 1 minute, join Senator Mandago, with whom we were at the referral hospital. Perhaps forgot to mention is that in the entire Busia County, we do not have a public ICU facility. And for you to get ICU services, you have to go to Bungoma. Mr. Speaker, it is sad. We did not come and expose some of these problems to the county government of Busia. And I want to pray that the governor, the executive, the assembly, and all those parties that we have interacted with, let them not take it as a sign of ill will that we are talking about these things. If a county, after 10 years of devolution, Mr. Speaker, cannot have an ICU, can only have one functional ambulance, cannot offer dialysis services, does not have a functioning oxygen plant, Mr. Speaker, you would ask yourself, what has happened to devolution in that county? And so the people of Busia, let's take this feedback positively. We did not come to witch hunt, we did not come to belittle anybody, but we came to expose the things, governance problems, the structural problems, the systemic problems, which if the governor in good faith, if he were to put together a team of advisors and allow parole for him in the next 1 year to turn that the people of Busia do not have to go to Bungoma for ICU services, or sadly, to go to Uganda for ICU services. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Murgu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to also make comments on two of the statements. One is the statement about Honorable Elijah Lagat. Elijah Lagat is a former MP for Jesume in Nandi, and we served with him in the 10th Parliament. And he was a very hardworking person, hardworking MP, and hardworking person, rising from athletics to be a servant of the people in a constituency. And so he initiated many projects in Mosop, and therefore Mosop has lost a very hardworking person who would be an example, even though retired from politics at the time, but he would be an example to the young people. And then secondly, I would like to make a comment on the IDs that the senator for Muranga reported, that the IDs that are in registry offices, and some of them the offices of chiefs, are IDs or documents that are delaying a lot of things. Those that are missing them do not get services in either locations or offices that they would be getting, and therefore there is need for chiefs and administrators to do campaigns so that they are collected for the purpose of even registration to vote and many other services that give people rights with IDs or possession of IDs. Thank you.
Now, before we proceed with the comments, allow me to make this communication. Now, honorable senators, I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of visiting deputy governors from Bungoma, Vihiga, and Trans Nzoia county governments. I request each deputy governor to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. His Excellency Pastor Jennifer Chemtai Mbatian, Deputy Governor, Bungoma County. Thank you. His Excellency Wilberforce Kitiezo Guadoya, Deputy Governor, Vihiga County. Thank you. His Excellency Philomena Binea Kapkori. Thank you. Deputy Governor, Bungoma County. Now, honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving of Trans Nzoia, Deputy Governor, Trans Nzoia County. Now, honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming guests to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the deputy governors, and on my own behalf, on behalf of the Senate, wish them a fruitful visit. Further, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of 11 religious leaders of the Busia County Interfaith Network. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that they may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Reverend John Omuse Okude, Presiding Bishop, Anglican Church of Kenya, Katakwa Diocese. Thank you. Reverend Isaiah Obaya, Presiding Bishop, Anglican Church of Kenya, Nambale Diocese. Sheikh Ramadan Musa, Chairman, Council of Imams and Preachers of Kenya, Busia County. Sheikh Muhammad A. Ayolo, Secretary, Busia County Interfaith Network. Thank you. Reverend Charles Orodi, Retired Priest and Administrative Secretary, Busia County Interfaith Network. Thank you. Reverend John K. Sireka, Presiding Bishop, Assemblies of Christ Evangelical Holiness Church. Reverend Vincent Orango, St. Mary's Church of God and member Organization of the African Independent Churches. Sheikh Isa M. Musa, Imam Masjid Jamia Bumala. Madam Zainab Y. Khamis, Member, Busia County Interfaith Network. Bishop James Wanyama, Presiding Bishop, Grace Fellowship Church, Busia, and Deputy Secretary, Busia County Interfaith Network. Father Benedict, Presiding Priest, Luanya Parish of the Catholic Church. On behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish you a fruitful visit. I will request the Minority Whip to extend a word of welcome to the two delegations.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of myself and the Senate, I'd like to extend a welcome to the three distinguished deputy governors from this region, as well as the religious leaders. The deputy governors, we come to this particular place to be able to oversight the counties, and I'm happy that you're here today to be able to witness some of the activities that we're doing. I'd like you to take your time to listen keenly, because this house is one house that unifies the entire nation. And it is a house that was established to be able to defend devolution. And that is the work that we do. We not only send money to counties, but we also come here to be able to see what is happening with those the funds that we sent. To the religious leaders, we share a diverse of opinion, and I'm happy to see that the Muslims and the religious and the Christians are also here. I ask you to put this country in prayer as we navigate different terrains to try and find the right path to be able to bring in justice and to represent the people who have given us the opportunity to come and respect and to represent them here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Muma, you may proceed with comments.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to contribute to Senator Cherargei's statement on the findings of the special audit on the eCitizen platform. I'd like to commend Senator Cherargei for bringing this very important issue to our attention. And I would want to urge that the Committee on Finance treat this statement as a matter of urgency and actually addresses the issues raised by Cherargei in a timeous manner, for the reason that the country is actually trying to digitize the systems, but the manner in which some of the things are happening with the current systems is actually not bringing any confidence among the users and the citizens on these systems. I believe the audit is good for purposes of exposing any loopholes and any weaknesses in these systems. But even as it exposes these issues, it also brings out some level of lack of confidence, because then people imagine this was deliberately intended to fleece the public. You will all remember that recently we've had a spat between national and county governments not wanting to digitize their systems. And yet, when we were at the devolution conference, we all applauded the governor for Muranga for actually digitizing most of the services and the systems, and particularly the financial system. So I would want to ask that beyond the questions that Senator Cherargei has asked, we must also include how we can create this system in such a way that it continues to respect the distinctive nature of our devolved governance. So we are creating a system that is able to ensure county governments can operate their financial systems distinctively and independently, as well as national government, but that we are able to bring everything on this system in order to have better accountability and transparency. So I would want to urge that this is actually taken seriously. I also want to add to contribute to this statement by Senator Nyutu on facilitation of ID cards. Honorable Speaker, access to IDs in this country has always been treated in a political manner. And I come from this region. The region generally, and Nyanza has been, and the coast, have been regions that have suffered marginalization in facilitating access to IDs because of the perceived political outcomes that might come with voter registration. Honorable Speaker, the other day in Nyakach, I actually came across 5 learners in Mjengo who had a C, had no IDs, and they come from poor backgrounds because they had not managed to collect their IDs. When the Deputy President was still in internal security, I brought a statement to ask that IDs be issued in schools, in all schools, that the registrar of persons facilitate the officers to go to the schools and ensure that Form 3s and 4s are able to get those IDs before they leave. That gives an equal opportunity to every child to apply for college, every child to apply for help, and any other funds. I'm supporting this statement and requesting that as a Senate, maybe we should make it a collective issue. Mr. Speaker, you might want to lead us to the Minister for Interior to actually make case for all learners in our schools to be facilitated to apply during this time so that in January, before the results come out, they are able to have their IDs to apply for funds in an equitable manner, to be able to have an equal chance to apply for tertiary institutions, to have an equal chance to apply for jobs, to have an equal chance to apply for affirmative action funds. That is not happening. It is only the children of the middle class and the upper middle class who are managing in large sense to access this facility. The ID is an enabler. The ID is an equalizer. I urge that the Senate takes this seriously and makes it our collective responsibility. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mundigi.
Okay, asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia mjadala wa Senator Siregei wa I&M Bank. Yangu ni kusema utendaji wa kazi unafaa ufuatiliwe kwa sababu wakati huu ni kila kitu yote, hakuna mambo ya kuwa kuna mtu aangalie njia ile inafaa. Kwa sababu unakuta watu wengine wasikuwa kama ni kazi nyumbani, na kama kampuni yoyote ama mbangi ama wizara yoyote imekumbali kufanya kazi katika Kenya mpaka kuwe na mambo ya uwazi kwa sababu ya kusaidia economy ya Kenya na economy ya kaunti zetu zote. Na utendaji wa kazi ni mzuri kwa sababu unasikia kama I&M Bank mambo ya kupatiana mamlaka kunaweza kuwa itaharibu hata familia za watu. Hapo ndio utakuta itaharibu hata vijana wetu, itaharibu wasichana wetu, utakuta kuna shinda. Na sio mambo ya hiyo banki peke yake. Bwana Spika, ni banki nyingi, hata SACCOS unakuta kuna shinda. Na hapo ndio utakuta wizara nyingi itaharibika kwa sababu mtu akipeleka ndugu yake, kesho apeleka msista yake, ama mwingine apeleka mtu mwingine, na hiyo mambo yote itakuja kuharibu. Hata unakuta banki kama hizo, utakuta watu wanapiga kelele, banki imeanguka kwa sababu njia ya utendaji wa kazi haikufuatiliwa kwa sababu ya mambo ya utapeli wa pesa. Bwana Spika, pia ningeunga mkono mambo ya kuchukua vitambulisho ambayo ni ya Senator wa Murang'a. Bwana Spika, wakati huu tumembakisha miaka 2 ndio tuweze kwenda kwa uchaguzi. Ningeomba utendaji wa kazi wa wale watu wanapeana vitambulisho wakiingia kazi asubuhi na mapema, na pia wale wanataka vitambulisho waweze kusaidiwa kwa sababu tunajua bila kitambulisho utakuwa na shinda juu ya uajiri wa kazi. Na pia watoto wetu wale wametoka shule wanataka kwenda kazi, wanataka kwenda kazi manjuu, lakini kama mambo ya vitambulisho haitaangaliwa utakuta kutakuwa na shinda. Pia ningeongea kwa vijana wetu na wasichana wetu. Pia watu wengi katika sub county vitambulisho inachukuliwa. Bwana Spika, unakuta watu wengi wamechukua vitambulisho, lakini mpaka sasa vitambulisho imekuwa pale na wanjaenda kuchukua. Sasa hiyo inakuta ni shida nyingine. Bwana Spika, pia ningetaka kuchangia, tumekuja hapa Busia, ni vizuri kama vile chairperson wa health ameongea, hata kama mimi nikiwa mwenyekiti wa agriculture vice chairperson, naweza kuhusia kidogo upande wa agriculture. Juzi tulienda hapa katika Butarangi, Lake Victoria, mambo ya uvuvi wa samaki. Na mambo ya ajabu, mimi nikitoka huko Embu County ama Nairobi, nilikuwa ikifikiria utendaji kazi wa mambo ya uvuvi wa samaki. Hapa samaki siko nyingi, lakini Bwana Spika, wakati tulienda pale unakuta kuna shida kubwa sana, kwa sababu tulikutana na watu ambaye ni wa miaka kidogo, lakini unakuta ile shinda iko pale juu ya kilimo ya samaki iko na shinda, kwa sababu kuna ofisi ilijengwa pale na blue economy, na mpaka leo haijakuwa handing over kwa county. Pia unakuta kuna shinda wale watu wanalima samaki wanalamika, wako mbonda ya Uganda, unakuta watu wanaenda uvuvi wa samaki, alafu wakati wa koloni ilisha, wa communist ilisha, lakini watu wetu wakienda pale wanawekwa ndani, wanashikwa mataka na watu wa Uganda. Bwana Spika, naomba serikali ya muungano ya William Ruto aweze kuongea na Museveni, waweze kuangalia vile Busia uhusiano mwingi, ndio watu wetu wasiwe wanashukuriwa mateka, ndio waweze kusaidia juu ya biashara. Pia Bwana Spika, mambo ya county government, hapo mambo county government iko pesa nyingi sana. Bwana Spika, county ya Busia ingenua machini ya kutengeneza chakula ambaye ya kusaidia samaki, ndio ikae vizuri, ndio wakulima waweze kufaidika, lakini unakuta baada ya county ya Busia kusaidia kilimo ya samaki inaendelea kuvivia. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, naomba uhusiano mzuri wa county ya Busia na MCA na executive. Hapa tumeona makanisa, hata makanisa mpaka hiyo maneno.
30 seconds, Honorable Senator.
Sawa. Bwana Spika, kwa hivyo ningeomba hao watu wakae pamoja, waweze kuangalia vile watasaidia kilimo, kwa sababu kilimo ya hapa ni uvuvi wa samaki, ni uvuvi pia ni mambo ya miwa. Pia ningeomba waangalie kuna mambo ya value addition, waangalie kama kuna kilimo ingine kama ya makandamia, kama ni mambo ya makandamia na pia na vitu zingine, ndio waweze kutengeneza kilimo, kwa sababu saa hii mambo ya elimu hapa iko juu sana, lakini mambo ya kilimo pesa.
Point of order. Point of order. Point of order.
Well, the Honorable Senator has concluded his remarks. Now, before I allow Senator Olekina to make his comments, allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from St. Monica Chakol Girls High School in Busia County. The delegation consists of 4 teachers and 60 students who are in the Senate for an academic exposition. Now, Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on my own behalf and on behalf of the Senate, wish them a fruitful visit. I will request the Senator from Busia County to extend a word of welcome. And a 1 minute, Honorable Senator.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for the opportunity. St. Monica Chakol Girls is one of the premier schools in Busia County. Even the MP for the area where we are here, Teso South, is an alumni of St. Monica Girls. So feel very welcome. You have seen our distinguished senators here. They are here because of their efforts. And then, as I told you in my world, is the cream that rises to the top, and try to be the cream. Oh, we know that also rubbish rises to the top when there's no order, but when there's the orders are come, it's only the cream that rises to the top, and so you work hard at your studies, and you'll rise to the top. Thank you very much, and feel at home. You are most welcome, and we are honored by your visit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Olekina.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to support the statement by Senator Cherogei. This statement should worry Kenyans. We cannot have an audit carried out, and we are told by the Auditor General that there's an issue of accountability or up to 7 billion shillings. Mr. Speaker, it is about time. And this is why I always say that statements are brought to this House, not just for the sake of one committee investigating it, but to be able to assist this Senate or Parliament develop legislations that can ensure accountability. Mr. Speaker, it is quite clear that there is a lack of accountability. There is opaque legal framework to be able to oversight e-citizen and a private entity. And this is why I differ from my colleague, the distinguished senator from Homa Bay. I agree with him that there's nothing wrong with a private entity doing business. But when it comes to revenue being collected for the entire nation, where we have, I think, a minimum of about 22,000 services, then at that point we must ask ourselves, what have we done as a parliament to be able to develop legislation that oversight that service being given to a private entity? Madam Speaker, if you look at countries like Sweden, Estonia, Denmark, they have legal framework that assist the government be able to collect that revenue. Singapore is one of them. But here, and I can tell you I'm speaking out of experience on this matter, legislations are drafted, engineered by the private sector. One of those legislations is the legislation on the healthcare. It is all engineered by the private sector. So now, when you look at the regulations that are regulating the e-citizen platform, there's not a single one. It cuts across different ministries, not even the Ministry of ICT. So, distinguished senators, it's about time that we either amend the PFM Act, look at Article 206 of the Constitution that talks about the consolidated fund, and ensure that all these 22,000 government services, that money goes directly to the consolidated fund, but not to a webmaster for them to collect a service fee of 50 shillings that they cannot really account for it. Those are some of my biggest problems that I see in this country, where there is opaque legal framework, lack of accountability. You know, you cannot compare. There's no way we can say that we are leapfrogging. We are not leapfrogging. What we are doing is that we are lining certain individuals' pockets. That is a fact. Madam Speaker, the things that Senator Chiragea discussed here really goes around three sectors. One is the technology being used. That technology must be owned by the government. Why do we have an ICT authority, yet we cannot rely on it to be able to develop technology that the government can be able to use? If ICT authority cannot be able to develop the technology, why don't we go to the NIS? I believe last year, was it 2 years ago, we were invited by NIS. They showed us their capacity and capability in developing the land registry technology to be used, because that will be government to government. Let us now move away from this issue where we are collecting 50 shillings, but in 22,000 government services. That's a lot of money. So, Madam Speaker, it is time that this government has control. And I hope that when the Committee on Finance and Budget is going to be looking at this, I think the Committee on Public Accounts Investments, and even the committee led by, the committee led by Senator Kajuang, should go and look at it, because to be honest with you, how do you oversight e-citizen? Who has oversighted e-citizen apart from us? This time, let's not just comment on a statement, but actually take advantage of the things that we are finding out from the Auditor General, develop legislation, and finally, either set up an ad hoc committee and do away with this webmaster. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
For senators, I wish to reinstate the statements by Senator Okiya Omtata before we continue with the comments. Senator Omtata.
Honorable Speaker, I have three statements. I request that I read them all together.
Proceed, Senator Mtata.
So my first request is a request for statement on the protection of Lake Turkana's fishing ecosystem and the establishment of Busia as a national dry fish auction market. Madam Speaker, I rise, pursuant to Standing Order 53 Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on a matter of inter-county concern regarding protection of Lake Turkana's fishing ecosystem and the establishment of Busia as a national dry fish auction market. Madam Speaker, Lake Turkana, the world's largest desert lake and the UNESCO World Heritage Site, sustains thousands of livelihoods in Turkana and Marsabit counties. However, it faces great threats from illegal, unregulated, and destructive fishing practices, including use of toxic chemicals, the harvesting of an undersized fish, and unsustainable netting. Reports further indicate the direct involvement of foreign nationals, notably traders from the Democratic Republic of Congo, in collusion with locals, worsening the depletion of fish stocks. Madam Speaker, meanwhile, Busia County, a hub of cross-border fish trade, still lacks a formally recognized national dry fish auction market. This regulatory gap undermines food safety, denies government revenue, and fuels practice manipulation. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the reports of illegal and destructive fishing in Lake Turkana, including the role of foreign nationals, and purpose immediate enforcement measures. 2, policy and legislative actions to prohibit toxic fishing methods, regulate net sizes, enforce closed seasons, and bar direct fishing by foreign nationals. 3, the establishment of a national dry fish auction market in Busia town under the Fisheries Act and the National Trade Policy, ensuring compliance with Kenya Bureau of Standards, Kenya Revenue Authority, and public health standards. 4, inter-county collaboration between Turkana, Marsabit, and Busia to strengthen enforcement, establish landing, inspection sites, and empower fisherfolk cooperatives with storage and processing facilities. Senator Andrew Mtata MP, Senator from Busia County, 1st October 2025. Second, I request for a statement on the conservation, development, and promotion of Kakapel prehistoric site in Busia County. Madam Speaker, I rise, pursuant to Standing Order 53 Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment, and National Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the conservation, development, and promotion of Kakapel prehistoric site in Busia County. Madam Speaker, the Kakapel prehistoric site, gazetted by the National Museums of Kenya, is a monument of exceptional archaeological and cultural significance, showcasing ancient rock art and inscriptions dating back thousands of years. Despite an approved allocation of Kenya shillings 102,400,000 under the project Tourism Promotion through Conservation of Cultural Heritage at Kakapel National Museum, the site remains largely underdeveloped. Critical infrastructure, including access roads, visitor amenities, and research facilities, have not been established. This neglect jeopardizes the preservation of Kenya's heritage, undermines key national and continental development agendas, and deprives the local community of educational, cultural, and economic benefits. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the status of implementation of the Kakapel project, including reasons for the delay in release and utilization of the allocated funds, and whether due process was followed in the planning, tendering, and procurement stages of the project, and provide relevant documentation. 2, measures in place to develop essential infrastructure such as access roads, fencing, signage, interpretation centers, accommodation facilities, and cultural exhibition spaces. 3. Strategies to collaborate with universities and archaeological institutions for research, documentation, and preservation of both tangible and intangible heritage. 4. Plans to promote community-based tourism models that empower local residents and safeguard cultural identity. 5. National and international marketing initiatives to position Kakapel as a flagship heritage tourism destination, including cross-border tourism with Uganda. Signed, Andrew Omtato Koiti, MP, Senator from Busia County, 1st October 2025. My third request for a statement is on the management of sugar sales, dilapidated infrastructure, and rampant sugarcane smuggling in Busia County. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the management of sugarcane sales, dilapidated infrastructure, and rampant sugarcane smuggling in Busia County. Madam Speaker, farmers diligently pay sugarcane cess meant for rural roads, bridges, and way bridges. Yet, Busia's budget reflects only 10 million annually, despite Miller records showing remittances exceeding 30 million. This suggests serious underreporting or diversion of devolved funds. Consequently, feeder roads remain in disrepair, raising transport costs and reducing farmer incomes. The porous Kenya-Uganda border fuels rampant sugarcane smuggling, depriving counties of revenue and destabilizing markets. Unregulated cheap imports further depress cane prices and enable delayed miller payments, while frequent dumping of duty-free refined sugar weakens the local industry. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1. The total sugarcane sales collected annually from 2020 to date, desegregated by miller and sub-county. 2. The discrepancy between county government and miller remittance reports, and outline the measures in place to ensure public disclosure of sales receipts and expenditures, including internal audit mechanisms to prevent diversion or underreporting. 3. Evidence of infrastructure projects such as roads, bridges, and way bridges funded through sales revenue over the last 5 years. 4. The control measures established to curb sugarcane smuggling across Kenya's borders and indicate any disciplinary action taken against persons implicated in the vice. 5. The current national sugar demand and supply gap, and how the current gap is being verified before issuing import permits, and the safeguards in place to ensure imports occur only during genuine shortfalls while protecting farmers from price depression caused by cheap imports. Signed, Andrew Omtato Koiti, MP, Senator from Busia County, 6th October 2025. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We resume comments on the statement. Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me first to start making a brief comment of the park that we managed to visit, because it's one of the statements by Senator Okio. Thank you, Senator Mundigi. In regards to the improvement of the park, Mr. Speaker, I joined the Committee of Industry, and I was privileged to also be able to look at the a park, which, Madam Speaker, is a national museum. And all that it needs to be done is that money needs to be set aside so that it can improve the infrastructure. It will be able to really attract a lot of tourism putting in mind this is a border area, and this is a facility, Madam Speaker, the Kakapel historical site. It has very, very historic message. It's a very important site as a museum. Madam Speaker, I agree that it needs to be gazetted and needs to be improved. We've seen a structure that the county government had started putting in place. It should work with speed to be able to complete this particular structure. And Madam Speaker, I mean, it has a lot of history that will definitely ensures it prides in the local area culture, Madam Speaker. The other statement, Madam Speaker, is by Senator Cherel Guy in regards to the unfair labor practices at I&M Bank, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, actually, the matters that the Senator has addressed that the committee needs to narrow down to should go beyond I&M Bank, Madam Speaker. When I was doing my thesis in my undergraduate, Madam Speaker, at the University of Nairobi, I narrowed into the issues of the banks in this country. By then, there were about 42 banks by then. We've had an increase of the number of banks in this country. And mostly, most of them having foreign investors, Madam Speaker. When the foreign investors invest, which is something that we encourage them to do, Madam Speaker, we should not also close our eyes and forget some of the issues that have been raised, some that are in this particular statement, in terms of unfairness, probably in the promotions, in the recruitment processes, in the local strategic market strategies that need to be adapted locally, because the local banks need to help the locals, not only a specific sector, Madam Speaker. So this issue should not only be narrowed to I&M Bank, Madam Speaker, but across the different banks. The Committee of Labor should be able to give an adequate report, Madam Speaker, of all the banks in this country. Be able to analyze the issues that have been brought about by the Senator, the mechanisms that are in place to be able to whistleblow, and many others. At times you find that transactions have been done. The manager has been able to approve 1 or 2 transactions, and because the client was fraudulent, Madam Speaker, then the employee is affected, probably without fair process of what really transpired. Because the bank wants to really cover their own image, then they end up sacrificing the employee simply because something has been flagged out by CBK. So there should be a proper audit on the same. Madam Speaker, also, just to mention on the issue of the hospital, today we had a privilege to visit, today we had the privilege to visit the referral hospital, Busia, and I was tasked, because my area is also pharmaceutical, to be able to look at the pharmacy, and I just want to applaud, honestly, the hospital. Among all the hospitals that I've visited and I've been able to move into the pharmacy area, this has been one of the best organized, clean, decent, with very competent people, something that I'm really very proud of, and I would want to encourage them to continue with the same. Even they've been able to actually have their own system. And Madam Speaker, today when we were looking at the financial issues in terms of the pending bills in this county, apparently the health sector is the one, in terms of revenue collection, on-source revenue collection, is the one doing the best in this particular county. Despite the huge amount of the pending bills in this county, which we've been able to address, Madam Speaker, and add that the county government moves with speed, Madam Speaker, to be able to sort their suppliers. It is very sad, Madam Speaker, to have a pending bill of as little as 100,000, as little as 90,000. Mark you, this person went to a bank or to any financier, borrowed a loan. There's interest that is accruing for this particular person, and this money has not been paid for years and years. Yet they have a running pending bills committee that verifies this particular bills, Madam Speaker. It is something that we want to urge the county to move with speed. They've given us just a light strategy in terms of how they're supposed to clear the 2.6 billion pending bills in this particular county. If this is not done with a plan, then we are going to have a very minimal percentage on the development budget, Madam Speaker. So I think and I hope that Senate Mashinani Busia, Madam Speaker, has been of impact, cutting across all the different sectors. As Mheshimiwa Mudigi also talked about the agricultural sector, we've looked at the health sector, we met with PAC, they've also tried to look at the matters within the health. Finance today, we had the governor, we tried to emphasize that pending bills be sorted. We hope and pray that the people of Busia, as we go back to our counties, as we go back to Nairobi, we will have left an impact and a positive impact for that matter. We look forward to when again we shall be here. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Senator Chute.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to contribute on the statement by Senator Omtata on the protection of Lake Turkana fishing ecosystem. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, Marsabit shares the lake with Lake Turkana, with the Turkana County, of which 70% is in Marsabit County. Honorable Speaker, I think last week, some businessmen and politicians came to my office and told me we have a problem in Lake Turkana. And I want to thank Senator Omtata for bringing this issue to the Senate today. And the issue they raised was that people are using nets which are smaller in size, undersized, for fishing in Lake Turkana. And I asked them, what is the Department of Fisheries, what are they doing? They said they are doing nothing. And I want to emphasize that this problem Senator Omtata is talking about, it is live and it is happening in Lake Turkana. Madam Speaker, imagine people using undersized net and a senator for Busia, senator who is in Busia, complaining about issues in Lake Turkana that we have a problem. The problem is fish which are smaller in size are being transported from Lake Turkana to Busia. Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, in Marsabit, the Marsabit County government built an abattoir, which is unfortunately maybe costed about 300 million, which is today claimed by the lake. It is in the lake now. Only the roof, you can see only the roof. And now that abattoir is not helping our people in Marsabit. What Senator Omtata is trying to say, I will be a bit having a different idea from his. My idea would be, there was money set aside. This money comes from European Union, and it's about 1.5 billion shillings to help the fisheries, the fishers, the people who are doing business, the young and women who are doing business in Lake Turkana. Honorable Speaker, this money would have been set aside for regulated trucks, cold storage system in the lake, and also policing of the lake. We have two problems in Lake Turkana. Now, one is security issues. Number two is about the nets, which are undersized nets. And if we don't stop this, we will not be having fish to be harvested from Lake Turkana in the next 5 years. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask CS Joho. I spoke to him about 3 weeks ago on the same issue. I told him there is a problem in Lake Turkana, and we need to deal with that problem as soon as possible. And he promised me he's going to come to Marsabit specifically to come to Lake Turkana and sort out these problems. What do we need in Lake Turkana? There is a boat which is in Lake Turkana that's not being used. That belongs to the Department of Blue Economy or Fisheries. That boat stays there. It can be only used when somebody wants to hire that boat. It doesn't do the policing work. It doesn't help our people in even, helping for emergencies. It is being hired, it's being let to people at some cost. So I think he needs to visit Marsabit, Lake Turkana, and see what is happening in Lake Turkana. And I want once again to thank Senator Omtata, and I want to sit with him and discuss how we are going to be having our fish. To be even not necessarily bring a dried fish. We can bring fish. I know it's not happy with this, but we can, with refrigerated vehicles, we can bring fish to Busia. Then people from Congo can come and buy when you have everything in place. Finally, Madam Speaker, Senator for Turkana also has similar problem. We had lunch together, and he told me there is a security problem in Lake Turkana also on his side. And this can be taken care of only by the Fisheries Department by deploying motorboats, speedboats that can secure that area. When we visited his county, people were complaining about not having enough speedboats to secure the community who live in Lake Turkana. So my request to the committee is they have to do thorough investigation and also visit Lake Turkana, both sides, Turkana County and Marsabit County, and see for themselves what is happening in Marsabit, Lake Turkana. And most probably, we would also request, if possible, we ask the CS also to visit as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Senator
yes, it's fine. Yes, please do.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I rise to object that there is not a quorum present in the House. Madam Speaker, do we have quorum for the proceedings?
Clerks, do we have quorum? We don't have quorum, so can I request Sergeant at Arms to ring the bell for 10 minutes?
Business over the Rose 2, informing the Speaker that the House may not be having the requisite for it to be able, unless and until that quorum is raised. So the Speaker has indicated or directed that to get back to raise it and commenced the House sitting. However, as the business continued, it seems that members have walked out of the chambers, and therefore making the House lack that requisite quorum for the business to continue. So that is a quorum bell that is on. If the members manage to make their way inside, then the House will pick up from where they had left. So once that quorum is raised or is achieved, then they will be able to pick up on the business that is lined up for consideration. And if not, then that House will be adjourned until the next sitting. And this is pursuant to the provisions of standing orders of the House. Remember, this is a Senate plenary sitting taking place in Busia County under the Senate Mashinani program. This is the last plenary sitting day. The House has been sitting at the County Assembly of Busia since Tuesday afternoon sitting, Wednesday morning Wednesday afternoon as well as today. So this will be marking the last day of the plenary sitting, as is the calendar of the Senate, that the plenary sittings are done from Tuesday afternoon to Thursday afternoon. However, you will recall that the senators have also been conducting committee sittings done by various standing committees, also making visits to various county projects. And so this afternoon, if the House does not correct, then that means they will be adjourning, and that will be the end of the Senate Mashinani chapter, or the Busia chapter, and they will be back to the main parliament buildings in Nairobi from next week. So we shall be waiting to hear from the Speaker, Honorable Veronica Maina, who's currently, Honorable Catherine Muma, I beg your pardon, who is currently chairing the House. If that quorum is not present, then the House shall be adjourned. But if you're just joining us, that the House has been going on with its business. However, quorum hitch has been faced, and therefore that is the quorum bell to call back the members who may have stepped out of the chambers because the House does not have the requisite quorum during the proceedings of the House. Before that quorum hitch, the members were considering statements that had been lined up for consideration in today's order paper. Some of the statements include that from the member for Nandi, Honorable Samson Cherarkei, from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding the findings of a special audit by the Auditor General on Kenya's Central Digital Payments Gateway, the e-Citizen. Also, statement by the Senator for Makueni County, Honorable Daniel Manzo, seeking from the Standing Committee on Education regarding a report of sexual assault involving a grade 3 pupil at email at Emali Sunshine Academy in Makueni County. Also, the Senator for Elgeyo Marakwet, Honorable William Kisang, had a statement this afternoon that was sought from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the human-wildlife conflict arising from elephants in Kerio Valley. Also, the Senator for Murang'a County had a statement sought a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the delay in the issuance and collection of national identity cards. And we have also seen the host Senator, Busia County Senator Honorable Andrew Omtata, also seeking statements regarding the management of sugarcane cess structure and rampant sugarcane smuggling in Busia County. The Senator also sought a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries concerning the protection of Lake Turkana's fishing ecosystem and the establishment of Busia as a national dry fish auction market. And the Senator also sought a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the conservation, development and promotion of Kakapel prehistoric site in Busia. So if you're just joining us, is that the House that is sitting in Busia County Assembly, this being the 4th Senate Mashinani, has been conducting its business at the County Assembly of Busia since Tuesday. This is the last sitting this afternoon. However, there is a quorum hitch And the quorum bell is on, just to alert members of the Senate who may be within the precincts that the House has faced a quorum hitch during the proceedings.
The consequence of overwork. I'm aware that a number of committees are still doing their exit meetings. Having failed to attain quorum at the expiry of the 10 minutes, the Senate stands adjourned pursuant to Standing Order 41-2A until Tuesday 25 at 2:30 p.m.